The main character of this story is Cooper. He used to be a pilot in NASA, but now he works as a farmer. Cooper is a farmer because the world needs farmers more than scientists. The story is set during a time when dust storms are common, and they cause significant damage to fields and crops. 7 years ago, crop production declined and Cooper transitioned into the life of a farmer with his family. Cooper has 2 children, Tom, who is an average student, and Murph, who excels in academics. The scene shifts to their house, where Murph tells Cooper that books often fall from her bookshelf, leading her to believe that there is a ghost in her room. Cooper dismisses the idea of ghosts, suggesting that the phenomenon could be explained by natural causes. However, Murph insists that Cooper himself had previously emphasized the importance of science in understanding things that people reject. Reflecting on Murph's words, Cooper encourages her to observe the occurrences in her room and attempt to understand the reasons behind them. In the next scene, Cooper and his family are watching a baseball game when a siren announces the arrival of a dust storm. As they arrive home, their house becomes covered in dust. In Murph's room, Cooper notices peculiar lines made of dust on her purse. Intrigued, he seeks to comprehend how these lines were formed. Murph continues to believe that there is a ghost in her room, but Cooper suggests that she sleeps in Tom's room for the night while he investigates the dust lines. Throughout the night, Cooper meticulously studies the lines, trying to unravel their meaning and origin. When Murph approaches Cooper, he explains that books fall from the bookcase due to the force of gravity. Cooper further elaborates that this particular room possesses a stronger gravitational force. Given his background as a scientist, Cooper recognizes that the dust lines formed within the room represent binary code. Binary code is a language commonly employed in computers and electronic devices for sending or receiving messages, typically using ones and zeros instead of letters or number. Cooper successfully decodes the dust lines and discovers the coordinates of a specific location. Both Cooper and Murph embark on their journey towards this place. Upon Cooper's arrival at the location, which happens to be nighttime, he notices that there is nobody present outside the gate. He proceeds to move forward and uses bolt cutters to open the fence at the gate. Suddenly, a security guard confronts him, resulting in both Cooper and Murph being apprehended and confined to separate rooms. In the subsequent scene, the robot named TARS asks Cooper how he managed to determine the location based on the coordinates provided on his map. Cooper becomes incensed and demands to know his daughter's whereabouts. The robot warns against resisting by force. At that moment, a scientist named Amelia appears and instructs TARS to step back. Cooper queries her identity, to which Amelia reveals herself as Dr. Brand. Cooper implores her to disclose his daughter's location, expressing his deep concern for her well-being and offering to provide any necessary information. Amelia orders TARS to escort the girl to the conference room and reassures Cooper that his daughter is safe. Eased by this news, Cooper and Amelia proceed towards the conference room together. Along the way, Cooper tells her that she is like him, urging Amelia to allow his daughter to leave and assuring her that he will keep their secret location undisclosed. Claiming ignorance about the place, Cooper insists that he knows nothing. Amelia responds, confirming that Cooper's daughter is indeed in the conference room, just as she is. Murph opens the gate and embraces Cooper, who then meets Professor Brand and several scientists. One of the scientists asks Cooper to explain how he discovered this secret location. Cooper responds by stating that it is quite challenging to explicate. He reveals that they stumbled upon the coordinates mysteriously, describing it as a supernatural occurrence rather than scientific. Another scientist present urges Cooper to provide a clearer explanation. Meanwhile, Murph interjects, stating that everything became apparent with the assistance of gravity. Meanwhile, Dr. Doyle inquires about the meaning of gravitational analysis. Based on his response, it seems that he already possesses some knowledge about the topic. He states, above, look, I will provide you with all the information, but first, you must give me this assurance. Please give it to my daughter, and allow me to leave. Professor Brand then addresses Cooper, stating, do you really not know who we are, Cooper? Cooper replies, no, Professor Brand, I am unaware. Amelia interjects, we are from NASA. We work for NASA. Professor Brand adds, the same NASA you used to work for. Cooper expresses surprise, exclaiming, I thought NASA was closed. Professor Brand stands and motions for Cooper to accompany him. He leads Cooper to the latch chamber, where Cooper notices a flying object, prompting Professor Brand to inform him that they must conduct secret work in order to justify the allocation of funds towards space projects, particularly during a critical time in which people are dying of hunger. Professor Brand elaborates, mentioning that a time will come when all crops on Earth will be destroyed. Kapar questions Professor Brand, asking about his plan to save the planet. Professor Brand responds that their objective is not to save Earth, but rather to leave it. Kapar asks where they have sent their people, To which Professor Brand replies, above. He refuses to disclose further details unless Cooper agrees to join their team. Cooper expresses disbelief, remarking that he was unknown to them not long ago and now they want him to be their pilot. Professor Brand responds, stating they had no other choice and suggests that he may have been sent to the meeting as their destiny. The group consisting of Professor Brand, Dr. Romilly Amelia, Dr. Doyle, and Cooper convenes in their respective chairs. Dr. Romilly addresses the meeting, informing them that 48 years ago, a wormhole spontaneously appeared near Saturn, providing a gateway to another galaxy. Cooper interjects, stating that a wormhole cannot materialize on its own. Amelia stated that someone had intentionally placed the object there. Dr. Doyle informed us that we have dispatched a total of 12 probes to another galaxy, with an estimated 3 potentially habitable planets. Furthermore, it was revealed that you have witnessed the presence of some sort of worm. Professor Brand mentioned that we have even sent human beings through the wormhole to another galaxy a decade ago. Dr. Doyle added that each person has a life support system that can sustain them for up to 2 years, and their objective is to assess the habitability of the discovered planet so it can transmit a signal back to us. However, Cooper raised concerns about the limited resources available to explore all 12 planets. Amelia responded by emphasizing the significance of the 3 promising planets. Although it initially appears as a building, its true nature will be elucidated soon. The entire building itself is actually a space shuttle. Cooper questioned how such a massive spacecraft would be able to take off, to which Professor Brand discussed their ongoing work on understanding gravity and its equations. Cooper expressed disappointment, pointing out that the gravity equation had not been solved yet. Amelia revealed that they have a backup plan, referred to as Plan B, as they grapple with the challenge of transporting a large number of humans to a habitable planet. They possess 5,000 embryos, which they plan to use for the colonization of humans there. This revelation concerned Cooper, as he wondered about the fate of the people remaining on Earth if Plan B were to go into effect. Professor Brand requested his trust, encouraging him to proceed with the mission and find a suitable habitat on the discovered planet, while he would continue working on the gravity equation. Cooper reluctantly agreed to Professor Brand's mission. Later, Murph expressed her anger towards Cooper for his decision and visited his room one last time before his departure for the mission. She disclosed to Cooper that she had deciphered a message, which implored them to stay behind. Cooper assured her that he would return, but Murph inquired about the timing of his return. Cooper handed Snow a watch and presented his own duplicate watch, implying that he would be back at a specific time. When I'm in space, traveling at the speed of light, or in hypersleep, or near a black hole, time will work differently for me. It will move much slower compared to Earth's time. When I return, we will compare our experiences. Snow mentions that time will run differently for both of us. Cooper agrees, stating that when he comes back, we will be the same age. There won't be much of an age difference between us. Murph expresses fear, saying that she is scared and asks when he will come back. Murph starts crying again, and Cooper leaves, leaving her crying. Cooper, along with his team Emily, Dr. Doyle, Dr. Romilly, and Roboterse, sets out towards the unknown, becoming the hope of mankind. The objective is to investigate 3 planets, Miller Planet, Man Planet, and Edmund Planet, from where they have received signals. They need to determine if human life can thrive on these planets. The rocket goes through Stage 1 and Stage 2 before entering space. They head towards their main spaceship, Endurance, from their smaller ship. They connect Endurance with their ship, Dog. After passing Saturn, they enter another galaxy through a wormhole nearby. Dr. Romilly suggests that they should visit Miller Planet first as it is closest to them, but it is near the Gargan black hole. Spending an hour on Miller Planet is equivalent to spending hours on Earth. Dr. Romilly studies the black hole while staying in Endurance, while Dr. Doyle remains with him. Emily and Robo-Tars go on a mission to explore Miller Planet. Cooper and his team reach Miller Planet using a flying object and discover that the planet is covered in 2 feet deep water. Emily, Dr. Doyle, and Roboterse exit the flying object and land on Miller's planet. They search for the signal and find the wreckage of the Miller flying object, which had arrived before them. Following the signal from the wreckage, they came to Miller Planet. Emily leads the way towards what they believe is a mountain, but Cooper informs her that it is actually a massive wave of water moving rapidly towards them. Up advises them to quickly return to the flying object. Emily heads back to the old flying object. While attempting to collect data from the debris, Emily becomes trapped within it. Dr. Tars is called upon to assist her, and promptly lifts her up and brings her inside the flying object. However, during this chaotic moment, Dr. Doyle narrowly avoids entering the flying object just as a massive wave crashes into him and his vessel. The flying object fills with water and Dr. Doyle is swept away, resulting in his tragic demise. With the flying object now filled with water, it becomes incapable of flying until all the water is drained, a process that will take approximately 3 hours. Cooper becomes infuriated with Emily as he realizes that spending just 1 hour on Miller's planet is equivalent to 7 years on Earth. Realizing their mistake, Cooper asks Emily if there is any possibility of time travel by jumping into a black hole and saving a few years. Emily explains that while time is relative and can be manipulated, it is impossible to travel backwards in time. Gravity is the only force that can traverse all dimensions. Cooper questions if the beings responsible for their arrival communicate through gravity, to which Emily responds affirmatively, but states that they are unable to connect with them from the future. Cooper suggests that these beings exist in the fifth dimension, where time may exist as a physical entity. Suddenly, they notice a second wave rapidly heading towards them. Coincidentally, all the water is drained from their ship just as Cooper destroys the flying object and heads towards the wave. Cooper and Amelia make it back to Endurance in their flying object and encounter a disappointed Dr. Romilly. Amelia informs him that they were unable to find anything on Miller's planet. Above, the doctor asks Romilly how much time has passed since they left. Romilly informs them that it has been 23 years, 4 months, and 8 days. Both of them have received messages from home. Let's take a look at them, my friends. It is a very emotional scene when Cooper reads Tom's message. Tom is now the same age as Cooper. He tells me that Grandpa has passed away. On her birthday, Murph records a video message because she is now the same age as Cooper. Before leaving, Cooper promised Murph that he would return to Earth when she reached his age, but he failed to do so. In the next scene, it is revealed that Murph is now working on the gravity equation with Professor Brand on Earth. Meanwhile, Cooper's team is discussing whether they should go to Adman or Man Planet. It is evident that they are running low on fuel. They keep receiving signals from Man Planet, so they decide to head there. Amelia suggests going to the Adman's house, as the situation there seems more promising. This angers Cooper, leading to a heated argument. Eventually, they all agree to go towards Man's planet. Upon reaching there, they enter Dr. Man's compound and wake him up from his sleeping chamber. Dr. Man expresses his gratitude, as he never expected anyone to come and see him on that planet. He shares that the ammonia levels are high in their current location, but at higher altitudes, the ammonia diminishes, making the planet habitable. He also mentions that organics can be grown there, the water is drinkable, and the air is breathable. Robot Tars asks Dr. Man, "Why did you decommission your robot?" Dr. Man replies, "It had a generation problem. It was making mistakes in identifying ammonia organics and generating incorrect data, so I switched it off and turned off its power." He uses Tars in his mission and asks if he can check it. Dr. Man responds, "Only humans can fix it." While they are talking, they receive a video-recorded message from Murph. In the message, Murph reveals that Professor Brand is no longer alive and that Plan A was a lie. Murph questions Amelia and her father's knowledge of this lie, expressing anger at being left to suffocate and starve. The message ends, and Amelia says to Cooper, "I don't know what Murph is saying. My father never told me about this lie. He dedicated his life to solving the gravity equation." Cooper asks why it was not used, and Dr. Man explains that the equation could not reconcile relativity with quantum mechanics without a significant amount of data. Cooper inquires about the kind of data required, and Dr. Man replies that black hole data is necessary to understand the secrets inside and overcome the laws of nature that prevent direct observation of the singularity. Dr. Romilly confirms that gravity is indeed very strong and hidden in the darkness of the horizon, making it impossible to see beyond. Dr. Man explains that Professor Brand always referred to Plan B as the solution. To make people work together to save themselves, he fabricated the existence of Plan A. Upon hearing this, Cooper grows frustrated and declares his intention to return to Earth immediately to care for his children. Responding to Cooper's plan, Dr. Romilly suggests dropping the TERS robot into the black hole before going back so that it can transmit all the vital quantum data to Earth, ultimately aiding in the completion of Plan A. Before leaving for Earth, Cooper requests that Dr. Man takes him to a habitable planet. Amelia, Tars, and Dr. Romilly remain at Dr. Man's compound, working on repairing the damaged robot. Dr. Man and Cooper venture out together, but upon reaching a high point, Dr. Man attempts to kill Cooper by pushing him. Cooper manages to save himself and realizes that the planet's air is not breathable for humans. Dr. Man had lied to them all. Another altercation unfolds between them as Dr. Man reveals his motive for providing false data. He wanted someone to come to that planet to save his own life and then intended to leave alone for Earth, fabricating a story. In the struggle, Dr. Man breaks Cooper's helmet, endangering his life. However, Cooper calls for help from Amelia, who arrives in time to rescue him from a foreign flying object. Meanwhile, Dr. Romilly, joined by TARS, destroys Dr. Mann's robots but unfortunately gets killed when one of the robots explodes. Cooper and Amelia swiftly make their way to Dr. Mann's compound in their flying object. They will experience time dilation, where time moves much slower for them compared to the outside world. Cooper assures Amelia and TARS that they will find a way to survive and complete their mission. As they approach the black hole, the intense gravitational pull starts to distort their perception of space and time. Cooper activates the slingshot maneuver, using the black hole's gravity to propel the Endurance towards Edmund's planet. They experience extreme gravitational forces and intense visual distortions as they pass through the event horizon of the black hole. Inside the black hole, they find themselves in a strange and surreal environment. Cooper uses his knowledge of physics to navigate through the complexities of the black hole's interior. With TAR's help, they manage to find a way to escape the black hole's gravity and reach the other side. Once they emerge from the black hole, they find themselves in a different region of space, light years away from their original location. They are disoriented but relieved to have survived the journey. Cooper, Amelia, and TARS begin to assess their new surroundings and plan their next steps towards Edmund's planet. I will transmit all the data to Earth so that gravity can be understood. Robo-TIRS gives a warning that we have reached close to the black hole. Cooper instructs to immediately turn on the thruster. By using the thrusters, they will be able to escape the gravity. They succeed and move away from the edge of the black hole's event horizon. Along with this, TARS also detaches itself and moves straight towards the black hole, causing TARS to lose contact with both of them. After TARS, Cooper also finds himself detached from Amelia, who starts to drift towards the black hole. Amelia forbids Cooper from doing this and explains that he should not sacrifice himself. Cooper mentions that according to Newton's third law, sometimes sacrifices need to be made to reach a destination. Despite Amelia's crying, Cooper detaches himself and starts moving towards the event horizon of the black hole. As he detaches himself from the spacecraft Endurance, Amelia heads towards the Edmund planet. After some time, Cooper loses contact with Amelia. Soon after, all the systems in Cooper's flying object stop working, darkness surrounds him, and he feels the increasing intensity of gravitational turbulence. The computer also comes to a standstill. He is constantly pulled towards the strong gravitational pull, causing his ship to fall apart and catch fire. Cooper ejects himself from his flying object through the ejector, resulting in him floating in the air and entering a mysterious place. He finds himself inside a tesseract that is suspended in the air. Cooper regains consciousness outside of the tesseract and finds himself in a room. He desperately hits the walls of the tesseract, trying to move across but fails. He continues to hit harder until a book falls from the wall in front of him, revealing a room with a young Murph. It is a flashback to Murph's childhood when she is speaking to Cooper. He hears her saying, "Murph, Murph." Cooper turns around and surveys his surroundings. He sees time in its physical form. With the help of this ability, he travels to a specific moment in time when he is about to embark on a mission. Dropping his books, he quickly sends a message to Murph using Morse code, urging her not to let their father go. This moment parallels the time in the story when Murph discovers Cooper's messages in the notebook. The message instructs her to stay, as a confirmation that she has successfully decoded the Morse code. However, Cooper dismisses the message in his despair, feeling helpless on his mission until he contacts the robot, TARS. TARS informs Cooper that they are in the fifth dimension, where the people of this dimension have created the space-time reality within the third dimension. Cooper realizes that gravity and time can transcend all dimensions and asks TARS if he has quantum data, to which TARS confirms. Cooper attempts to send quantum data, but encounters difficulties in transmission. TARS questions the complexity of a child understanding such data from the fifth dimension, emphasizing that they were not sent here to change the past. Understanding that his daughter Murph is the chosen one, Cooper travels directly to the point in time when Murph is a scientist. Meanwhile, the situation on Earth deteriorates, leading Amelia to rescue her brother Tom and his family by seeking shelter underground. Murph reminisces in her room and realizes that the ghostly presence she encountered was her father Cooper. She takes the watch he had given her. In the Tesseract, Cooper instructs TARS to transmit all the quantum data of the black hole in the form of Morse code. Cooper meticulously transfers all the quantum data to Murph's watch in Morse code. On Earth, Murph carefully observes her watch and deduces that her father wants to convey something through Morse code. She diligently records all the Morse code and successfully deciphers it. Meanwhile, TARS informs Cooper that the people of the fifth dimension are shutting down. TARS informs him that he still hasn't comprehended the fact that this work was not carried out by the people of the fifth dimension. It was solely our own doing. TARS adds that individuals like us are not responsible for all of this. Cooper responds by stating that, although it may not be achievable at present, there will come a time when we can accomplish this. Observing this, he asks the doctor about his current location. The doctor informs him that he is at Cooper Station, named after his daughter. Cooper Station orbits the planet Saturn. Cooper proceeds to his new residence, which is situated in Cooper Station, where he encounters the robot. He successfully repairs TARS, after which he visits his daughter Murph. Cooper and Murph engage in an emotional conversation, with both expressing their feelings. Ultimately, Murph mentions that Cooper has to leave. Upon questioning, Murph reveals that Amelia has gone to rendezvous with Brand, and Cooper joins them as they depart towards Amelia's location on the planet Edmund. The following scene portrays Amelia on Edmund planet, having removed her spacesuit helmet, signifying the possibility for human life to thrive on Adam's planet.